What's up with y'all, man? Before I got a lot I want to talk about, and I was already gonna make this video. It's 3:47 a.m. and I hope y'all are doing good, bro. You know I never sleep. You know I'm locked in. Right. I want to talk about this card and how great it was, but first, well, you know what I mean. I was chilling before I started this video, and apparently T.O. got pressed, bro. Bud Crawford caught him in traffic, caught him at the fights, and he pressed him. Like them Instagram reels where they got hydraulic press, he pressed him. And before I talk about the card and the fights, we got to react to this video. So if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe. But if you don't like the video, bro, kick rocks, bro. Yeah.
What up with it, baby? Hey, tell them what you told me. What I tell you? What you doing it for? Oh, promotion, baby.
Now, if you don't know what he means by when he says it, he said, what you doing it for? Because remember, Teofimo called Bud and a bunch of other black people monkeys. He did that weird shit with Keyshawn Davis with the bananas. If he was responsible for that, they saying it was him. I wouldn't be surprised, but he did make a video to it. And he's been using racism for promotion. You know what I'm saying? But he got pressed because I told you a lot of these fighters be busters, bro. Busters. Especially the racist boxers or the non-black boxers be busters, bro. Because they don't have to go through half of the adversity that black boxers have to go through just to become something in the sport. Even though we are the majority most talented fighters historically, bro. Historically. So people resort to underhanded tactics to get attention because their skills actually don't pay the bills. And apparently Teofimo thought that was the move, and he paid the ultimate price. You playing around on the internet is gonna leave you stretched in the intersection, bro.
So I ain't gotta fuck him up. But we should spar. I ain't gotta fuck him up. We should spar. We good people. Come on, I want to spar with you though. All right, how about that? We clap it up? All right, bet.
See, now he tried to save face so that way he could say, I told him we was gonna spar though. And bro, he's never picking up the phone. He's never picking up the phone for Bud Crawford, first of all. All right, that's off the rip. He's never picking up the phone. Never. Like, bro, you don't. That's literally something that people do to save face, so that way they can be like, so that way people can't be like, you got pressed. They're like, nah, bro. See, we cool now. We dapped up. I said let's spar. He said it's good. People can say whatever they want. Like, he's one of them type niggas, bro. That's what T.O.'s on. He's always trying to spin something, anything to make it something or anything, work out. And in reality, he just looks more like a buster trying to do that, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but look though. But listen and look. This card was tremendous. This card was excellent. It was even with the replacements. All right. There were some upsets, but we'll get to that. Well, you know what? We'll just start there. Virgil Ortiz. See, I was talking to the homie the other day, and I was like, man, I think that Beterbiev, Benavidez will beat Bivol and Beterbiev, because the thing that Mexican fighters do well, that's actually the Eastern European fighters' kryptonite. I don't know if it's just genetics, because all of them are weak to this. It's that body work. The body work, it always seems to soften the Eastern Europeans up. Bud used it against Madrimov. Devin Haney used it against Loma. Dubois used it against Usyk, and they gave him that extended count. That was still janky, because I swear that was a knockout. Everybody knows that. But it's that body work. The Eastern Europeans, their style, they headhunt. And when they do go to the body, it's usually with like straight punches. They don't have a shovel hook bag like that. They don't. Beterbiev kind of does, but he doesn't really lock in on that like he should, right? But their body is always the weak point. Keyshawn just did that to Lomachenko's partner, Branchik, right? And now you have Virgil Ortiz, who fought Madrimov, and he did very, very well. He did very well. And again, I had this conversation, I want to say like 2 days ago before the fights and everything, before I had Madrimov cooking, because I know that he's very skilled. And, I did give him more credit than he deserved for the Bud fight. I did. because he didn't get knocked out, and Bud's a lot better than Virgil Ortiz, but styles make fights. And let me tell you something, that body work and the fact that Virgil Ortiz, I mean, he punches hard, he does, but it's the fact that Mexican fighters dig to the body. That's what they do. And it's something that has always been a weak point for Eastern European fighters. It's that body. And I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's genetics or what, right? But it's always the body work. And that body work combined with his combination punching was enough to get him over the top. Do I think he beats Jaron Ennis after this fight? No, not off of this win, because I think that Jaron Ennis stops Madrimov, and I think that he stops Virgil Ortiz also because he does work the body. He's more accurate, better with combination punches. His defense is also really well. He doesn't get hit as much as people try to say he does. So I look forward to hopefully seeing that fight if and when Jaron moves up to 154. But after that was the Shakur fight, and people look. I've seen a few bad takes. I've seen people talking about how Tank should be licking his chops because Shakur couldn't even get this guy out of here. He's an electrician. He has no business in the ring. Understand something. Shakur had a perfect performance. He had just about he had an A+ performance. It wasn't perfect, but he had an A+ performance against Padley. And the reason why is because a few things. He always paces himself. He never works harder than he needs to work to get the job done, for one. And two, when it was time to step on the gas and let his hands go, he did, but he was mindful of his defense. So, he took his time. The only thing I would say he did wrong was that he came on a little late, but I think that he did that to test out how the next round was going to start. He ended the round applying pressure, landed some big shots to see how hurt the guy really was. And the guy had a chin, so he went to the body. And remember what Kid Austin's dad said. Kid Austin's dad said, Shakur will let you think that you got him, you're comfortable, and you're working with him. And then he hit you with a body shot that dang near makes you boo-boo on yourself. He said that he dang near made Kid Austin boo-boo on himself. I think that he would have stopped Kid Austin for sure sooner, because this Padley guy, when he peeled out, he had, he was in a ring, bro. He was in shape. He had abs, he was in shape. And he took the fight on the short notice, but he's better than Kid Austin, in my opinion, because he has a better resume. His skill set is more suited for a Shakur Stevenson fight, even though he got stopped. He tried to make it a chess match. But if Tank's seen this, then he should be, and I don't think that he's going to just instantly see this and be like, oh yeah, I need just the Shakur fade. I don't think so. That body work was so devastating, but the combination punching was devastating. And people are giving this guy credit for surviving 9 rounds just because he's an electrician. And he does deserve some credit, but he's also a professional boxer who's 15-0 and has a decent resume, and clearly is capable of fighting. He didn't just start becoming an electrician. It takes years to do that. Not the all other 15 people who fought him before Shakur Stevenson still fought an electrician. But again, a lot of the time with Shakur Stevenson, people hold him to such a weird standard because he's so good at boxing, that the only way that they could try to shit on him is by calling him boring and saying he has no power. Well, guess what? He stopped this guy in 9 rounds. He did it in a way that was just as clean as of boxing as it normally is. And he showed the whole time that he was of a different skill level in class, just in a different way. So he cooked. Joseph Parker versus Martin Bacoli was listen. See, there's a reason why I didn't make any videos about the replacements, because styles make fights, for one. 2, sometimes you have a replacement, you can have an upset. So I don't like to speak on it because replacements make things different, because you have a fighter who's been in camp training for another guy, and it really speaks to his boxing ability if he can adjust as soon as the bell rings on the fly and use the right tools to figure out whether or not to figure out the guy's style. So that's what Shakur did, right? Now you fight against Martin Bacoli, the behemoth, George Foreman 2.0, right? Joseph Parker did. He's also, he's 6'6". I think he was like 260 something. He's a big boy. But Bacoli came in. He was definitely overweight and out of shape, meaning, yes, he could fight. He was capable of fighting. But if he had not been training up to that point, like they say, and it looked like he hadn't, he wasn't conditioned to take punches. He wasn't conditioned. He didn't have his timing locked in. But here's what Joseph Parker did that was smart, though. What he did was he said, look, and I think Martin Bacoli landed a few big punches, like a right hook or something like that. Or no, it was like an uppercut, overhand right, stuff like that. And man, why is it not focusing? Man, I look dumb tired. But anyways, he landed a right uppercut, or like an overhand right or something like that. And basically, when Joseph Parker felt the power, he did the opposite of what most fighters would do. And what he did was he said, fuck it, I'm going to launch a yeet cannon of an overhand right. And that's what he did early in the fight. He just launched it because he knew he had to have known, like, okay, if he hasn't been training, then if this lands, then this has got to be a good shot, right? This has to count for something. He lands it. Martin Bacoli's legs go wobbly out from under him. I think he dropped him in the second round. And then when he dropped him, that was all she wrote. Now, the main event. People are saying that Beterbiev Bivol 2 looked a little fishy because, first of all, look, we all knew that there would be a trilogy, right? We all had to have known that. But here's the thing, though. Bivol and Beterbiev 2, let me tell you, was not on some weird stage shit. And the reason why I can say that in confidence is because both dudes were trying to sock each other out. Either man could have got knocked out the whole fight, right? But Bivol's strategy, he basically flipped it, right? Instead of coming in hot and boxing hot like he normally does in the beginning, he let the 41-year-old use his legs, right? So he won the first, then I think second round, he won. And then he just kind of survived the onslaught, moved his feet, used his jab, let the 41-year-old use his legs and everything like that to see what kind of shape he was really in. But around round 8, all the way through, here comes Bivol winning these rounds, turning it up. He caught a second wind. He finished strong. He did what he needed to do. He took chances. That's what you need to do in a rematch. You have to come differently. That does count for something with judges. And the fact that he was working a lot more, right? He was finishing his work. He wasn't just halfway working, or he wasn't fighting like, there was no half step in his game plan. And remember, I told you in the second fight, what he was going to be doing was looking for, or he's going to have more green zones in his game plan, which means there were going to be more spots where he just stopped and worked. Man, I literally cannot get my camera to focus right now. It's just going to have to be a little janky, but he had more green zones in his game plan, and there were more areas where he stopped on a dime and threw a right hand, and he also brought around left hooks. He brought an uppercut around, but he's gonna need a more full punch selection because in the third fight, I think Beterbiev, if they do their third fight at least, I think Beterbiev is gonna have to actually steady his pace, meaning he's gonna have to box round for round. Now, I don't know if he can win a fight like that with Bivol, because Bivol can take the punches and the power, and he has chin, and he also has power, and he also has patience and boxing ability, as he's shown when he outboxed Beterbiev in the last 5 rounds. Yeah, 8 to 12. When he outboxed him, and he was showing him like that there's just levels to this, and that the pressure is not going to, run this whole fight. It's just not. Once he started to show that, I know that Beterbiev in the back of his mind had to have known, like, oh man, I'm gonna need to balance this workload out more. So really it just comes to shuffling a few things and, deciding like, how heavy you want your work to be throughout, you know, round by round. Like how instead of it being peak, 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 and then down, 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 or whatever, he needs to have a fine-tuned, mapped out idea and graph of like what it is he needs to do, like the pace, what his pace needs to be, his punch output needs to be. You know, Beterbiev is gonna have to game plan all that for the third fight. But like I was saying, if Bivol wins or if they don't do a trilogy, whatever the case may be, whoever fights Beterbiev, they're gonna need a much more in-depth punch selection. You can't be fighting against David Benavidez and only throw straight punches and occasionally a hook. That's not how that works. That'll get you socked out and countered. So, in the grand scheme of things, I'm ready for this trilogy to be over, the series to be over, because David Benavidez is my guy and I want him to get his title shot. You dig? So that's that, man. That's the card. The card was excellent though. The card was beautiful, right? Leave your thoughts in the comment section about the card, about the fights, about the main event. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool. I'm gone.